Hey guys, what's going on? Randy here with Academia Christi, back again with episode 17 of the Viri Christi garden vlog. This is July the 9th. It's a Sunday, and I think it's been 8 days since the last vlog. So again, just kind of rolling with the punches at this point. As I can do them, I do them. And yeah, I'm getting them out at this point really late. You're seeing this extremely well after the 9th, but because I have some gardening, I'm doing some gardening, so yeah. Anyway, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible because I know that the vlogs are just going to get longer and longer as we have more things to talk about every week, basically. Again, if I can get up to 50 subscribers and followers on Rumble or YouTube, subscribers on YouTube, followers on Rumble, I have a cayenne pepper eating video that I will post. Maybe I'll just have to post that and have a habanero eating video instead for 50 subscribers and followers. But either way, make sure you subscribe or follow if you're watching on Rumble, and also make sure to follow me on Locals. That way, eventually I'll post more to that if I see that people are following me on there. But then I'll have even more updates that way. So yeah, just another way to get in contact with me using the off-brand things with Rumble and Locals. I kind of prefer them instead of course, using the ones from the mega corporations. But anyway, this is Garden Vlog episode 17. Hope you enjoy. First, over here in the kitchen, the poinsettia perking up really nicely. Bunch of leaves all over, no flowers, I don't think, just yet. The herb rack is getting simplified. Got our dill, lavender, basil, and then here's marjoram and spearmint. And of course all the excess. And finally, the hydroponic system. Took one of our basils out. This one looking really nice, Italian large leaf. Got the bib in the back here, lettuce. Got our Paris Island Cos and our prize head. Pulled 2, maybe 3 or 4, but only the smallest of leaves from these. 3 or 4 only counting if I am counting seed leaves. 2 true leaves off of each of them. They're all looking really nice. This cilantro is just gorgeous. Look at that. Look at how many pieces we have there. Crazy. And of course the ghost peppers. I guess this is a normal thing for the ghost peppers to turn that color. Looking pretty cool. They can even come out soon, probably, into maybe some smaller solo pots for now. Here, we'll check out the front. Again, apologies for all the noise. A couple of these climbing plants doing okay. Those black-eyed Susans back there. I really just wanted to show the lavender coming up nicely, whatever that plant is, flowering nice. But yeah, the lavender bursting out. I don't know if you can continue to harvest it. Probably, I would assume you can. I'd like to. I mean, there's quite a bit there. Definitely cut it back. Maybe just wait till the end of the season and get a bunch. So to our newly overgrown blackberries here, wild blackberries. Seeing some, actually just noticed these flowers right on the outskirts of the weeds growing on this fallen branch. I have a couple others that are already fruiting here. Still the oddness going on with the tops of the branches, all 3 of the big ones, but that's okay. Actually, on the very end of that one, that'll be fun to get to, but there are some blackberries. They look like blackberries to me, not raspberries, so I'm gonna say the blackberries. Some decent bundles there. Got many more flowers than last week and a half ago. And again, there's all these other fresh ones, and I had just noticed that it seems to be flowers maybe on one of the year 1 growths. I'm not positive though, but maybe. And last, I know the noise is probably super annoying, sorry. These probably the most ripened of the blackberries, getting kind of close. Some of these, they don't look perfect, but they will be edible for sure. A couple more bundles. Yeah, not bad. The home garden. The mustard. The marigolds that still haven't come out of the container, but at least they're still alive, sort of. I really need to get them out. Rhubarb's been pulled back a little further today, actually. I might go one more time, but we're getting pretty much toward the end of the season, I believe, for when you pull the rhubarb out. Not really gonna go down and check out the other old-fashioned mustard because it's getting crazy in here. But here, actually, we have some of the old-fashioned mustard that ended up coming up, and it's like one spot that it was actually open and not going to be just smushed back down. Wait a second, are these seeds? Are these where the seeds are? Well, that would make it quite easy to deal with. Because I assume then you'd take the stalk and you'd thresh these a little bit, and you'd have used some mustard seeds. I thought it would have something to do with the flowers, but maybe not. I guess not. Those look oddly like seed pods or something. They're interesting. They look oddly like little, like very, very skinny cayenne peppers, I'm not gonna lie. Makes me want to eat one. Probably be fine. I just don't want to disturb the plant. This is one of our only old-fashioned mustards. Not that it matters, but if we can, I guess I wouldn't totally mind trying to save some of that for some other time to replant. Actually, you know what? I walk over here and look at this mustard, or I just was noticing it's like coming, oh no, it is from this plant right here, I think. Yeah, it's yeah, it's getting nuts. Obviously we're gonna have, see, we have all these little things. I was wondering what all these were. I thought maybe there were old flowers that don't have flowers anymore. I don't know now though. Lots of flowers all over. I mean, look at it, look at all the flowers. I am about 6'1". This thing right here is that thing's a good 5'8" to 5'10" probably. We do have the one old-fashioned, and again, that's only because I sewed it in the inner ring, so it just got destroyed by it just got completely covered by the rhubarb. Yeah, we don't really have any more of that, but we have, yeah, plenty of the old-fashioned all over the place. Here, a trench, and I think I'm getting quite close, way too close, but hopefully the mustard again will come out soon, so I'll have more room here. And the rhubarb, even if it stays, that'll give me enough space. Some more, like I said, maybe one more go at the rhubarb. Some of these bigger leaves, bigger stalks in there, I'll take them out and then let the rest go for the season. But yeah, this is where the celery's about to go. There it is, sitting over there, getting to it slowly. But I did stop because, well, it was raining. The dirt's finally, I think, just good enough that I can do this. But also I want to get this garden vlog in before it's too late. Beautiful onions coming up. I did do the garlic, like one row of the garlic. That's why this is so far away from the onions, where the celery is going to be. There is a row of garlic in there. I don't know if it'll come up. And I don't know if this is garlic. I don't think it is. I'm kind of scared to pull it because I don't want to pull the only garlic that's coming up. So I'm going to wait. The carrots also just going crazy. Maybe big enough to pull them out. I guess I can keep them going. I don't know if they're still just as good if you let it go to seed. But I could probably, I mean, I've seen other people's carrots, farmers' carrots, and I'd say these carrots are big enough to take out. And then here, the amazing lettuce and the transplants that I'm working on, again, stopped so I could do this, and I am working with some muddy stuff here. As you can see, it's kind of hard to pack it in, but it's getting there. It's getting there. But this stuff, I didn't necessarily cut it back, but you know, chopped off some of it, and I think enough for a couple salads. Just a couple salads were had from it already. Just looking wonderful. So much lettuce here, a lot more than I had anticipated there being, but I'm not mad about that at all. In fact, I wouldn't mind a celebratory piece here for myself. Of course, all of them are covered in mud, so there's that, fortunately. We'll just have a piece of it. That was the... Oh, that's really good. That is so good. Paris Island Cost here in the middle. That might be my favorite one, but I need to try the others too. Maybe I need to try them right now. Maybe I need to try them right now. Let's take this piece of bib here. Nice. Sorry, get the undirty part. Oh man, I don't know now. Those are both fantastic. Those are really good types of lettuce. Let's try, this is a little denser in here. Of course, we have our last prize heads left to go. Got 4 Paris Island Costs in the middle there. 8 bib. Let's try this piece here. Be nice if it was one that didn't have a lot of dirt on it. Well, out of luck there, bud. Also gonna avoid the thing that was maybe eaten by slug. But hey, nature, man. I'm completely undecided. They all taste really good. I would totally mix them together and just have them all. Oh, before I go further, check out all that new room we have because of where the bags were. Moved them back there. Now gonna extend a little further. I'm hoping that grass is from the topsoil on top of the tarp. It hasn't come through the tarp, so I'm hoping that underneath the tarp is dead. I actually should move that soon, and we could be looking at like almost this entire spot soon being open. But right now this is, and I'm gonna have a row of peas soon from here and a row of beans behind it, and that'll probably be the end of the home garden for this season, unless I need to throw anything back here because I think it'll be open early enough. I'll do that too. Got our marigolds doing just fine here, and on the other side we'll check out these zucchini. After all the rain are taken off, gonna have some melons coming up soon, some zucchini melons starting soon, or whatever you want to call them, zucchini gourds, zucchini squashes, that's what they are, or gourd family squash genus or whatever. But yeah, this is the newest one out here. Got 3 of them now. I think I spaced them far enough apart. I don't know. We'll find out. I know they grow pretty big, so I think they'll have enough room. And again, this mustard will hopefully be cleared back a bit. Here's the random Marglobe tomato, the very first tomato we planted, which ended up working out somewhat, at least. Not the only Marglobe we have, but the first of all. It's grown. It's here. Maybe even someday it might need staked. Who knows? Check out this amazing little basil patch we got going now. I mean, it has taken off like a rocket. I had, what, 5, 5, 5, 5. I think that's what it was. 4 rings of 5. So not all of them, not nearly all of them came up, but way more than I need. I wouldn't mind getting like these 2, maybe this one out of there. Maybe even one more. That'd be 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, maybe one more. So take 4 small ones out. We've had some hard rains, so this is where I would be planting those other basils that I would transplant. In fact, should do it with these, since these 2 are kind of smushed in and next to each other at this point. Maybe I will. But just those and this one, and actually this one over here too. So there are 4 over here. They're just very tiny, but they should take off too soon in their own time. So maybe just transplant a couple over here. The spearmint, really hard to tell if any spearmint came up because this got overtaken by weeds soon after. I'm trying to keep them back, but again, it would be easy if I just took it would destroy any chance of the spearmint coming up probably, but I could just take a hoe through all of this. But I think I really need to because it's really encroaching on the peppers here. It in fact was all over. It was all over the garden. The whole thing was covered like that. I had a lot of work to do after all the rain we had. The other marigold here looking quite fine. Here are small cayenne, very first one transplanted, doing okay. Actually, no, it was transplanted a little later. It was one of the last ones I had rooted in water successfully, and I think it successfully took. Not bad, not bad. Now we know what we can do. Other ones that were rooted in water, these jalapenos that took and were not eaten, which was the problem with some of the other ones we had. And most of the cayennes didn't look good by the time we put them in here. The jalapenos were okay. They just didn't last through the animals' munchies. Another one though here. Another one here, the best one by far. Seeing some little flowers, I think, in there. Yeah, the bottom there. One more here. Again, jalapeno rooted in water. Still need to come out, obviously still need to come out and do the rest of the weeding here. And we have the other cayenne, that one nearest the marigold. These are the Gen 2 Nature's Edge cayenne. After realizing that the jalapenos and the cayennes were going to survive back here, I decided to put these all in the spots where the other cayenne were, and I'll put the other Nature's Edge Gen 2 jalapenos over here. Unfortunately, as is usually the case, I was way off with my rows at the end. They curved way inward, so that's unfortunate, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll work with it. Anyway, yeah, these cayenne are looking really nice. If we look down in here, we will see some flower buds about to open in a couple days, maybe. Probably on most of them we'll see that. These aren't, of course, as good as the one we saw in the pot, but that's because it was the best, and that's why it's in the pot, and it's in the pot, so that's also why it's the best. See how that works. Yeah, so one dead flower in the middle here. I don't know where it went, but it's not there anymore. All right. Again, though, yeah, flowers coming up, flowers everywhere. Maybe a little less flowers, smaller ones. Some of these, actually, this one is almost the only one that looks bad anymore with the bend. I might even be able to fix it, but it's trying to fix itself. I should just put some more dirt down and try to bend it back up a tad. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Again, got some flowers there, looking just dandy. And the last one, like the others, little flowers, not as big ones as the first ones we were looking at, but still got them. You still got them. And that's so that's 6 cayenne there. Nice big cayenne. Almost look like they came from the nursery at this point. That will be flowering and fruiting very soon. Those canary melons will be coming in the front here, and that'll be basically it for now, for this season. Now for perhaps the best parts, the market gardens, the market garden patches. Half of the cucumber patch. I don't know how much further I'm going to go with it. I did what was going to be half, but I actually might only come, well, yeah, I was going to come further than this, but maybe I'll just make this the initial marks where I end up going, which will actually let me extend the tomato patch further this way and that way a little more, which will be necessary. But of course these patches will change every year, at least every other year, if not every 3 years, or to not accommodate diseases and pests, I should say. But here first, the cucumber patch. I can't remember exactly, maybe I can. They're in order of their names, in alphabetical order. I think we had the Boston pickling first. So we had, and they were also the most of those, I believe. And look at how, oh wow, that one's going great. That one's doing great. By far the best. We'll see all the other ones, but that one I think is by far the best one we have right now. And yeah, I think we have 5 Boston picklings, so they're 4 and 5. Wow. That's surprising. I didn't expect to see flowers all over my cucumbers out here already, but there they are. This 3, 4, 5 more. I must have something wrong here. 5, 6. It must have been 7. So these two are two more Boston pickling here. I think that's right. I had both Boston pickling came up in these cups, peat pots, and I put those on the ends so I could tell where the Boston pickling began and ended. That's that. And next we would have had. Did I put the burpless, or did I put the market more here? I think. Yeah, I think the market mores are here. So 3 of those, and they're all looking good. They got dirt on them, and because everything has dirt on them, it'd be nice to have some mulch down. But yeah, those are looking okay. Yeah, I believe those are the market mores. And we have this patch that's going down the middle too. Might as well mention that, with a couple of little cucumber guys just starting to come up. First ones were the straight 8, which we have none of, and not a whole lot of those coming up. 5 of each. By the looks of it, these 3 might be the first 3 of our Bayet alphas, which we have growing in the pots, in the tricumber. So there'll be 2 more of those hopefully coming up. And yeah, this would be one of the straight 8s there that looks like it lost a seed leaf. This would be another straight 8 there. This would be one that just popped up, so that's good. That'd be the first one. Here's one, actually, looks like it's coming up too. And if I'm not mistaken, one of them, might have been this one, had an issue already. Something got to it. Oh no, it was right here. This was the 4th Bayet alpha there. It's gotten, and there's one more in here somewhere. So hopefully that'll come up. But anyway, over here we have our, yes, these would be the Space Masters, and hopefully they will, I planted in the same spaces away, so it'll be okay, but we will maybe be able to tell how much of a master of space they are as the year goes by. 3, 4, and 5 of those, and all mostly the same. These are actually, looks like dirt on the side. It's just very dirty leaves, actually, seed leaves mostly, so I'm just gonna pluck those off. The problem I've found with melon and gourd leaves is if you don't get them the right way, they like to start tearing down the side there. Just a thin tear. This is where our tender green burpless start. That'll be 2, and then 4 more here. Looking just lovely too. All that dirt. But none of them looking as lovely as those Boston picklings. But yeah, I think there's going to be a decent amount of cucumbers just from those. But like I said, I'm going to extend the patch. Not quite a third, not quite a half, somewhere in between there. And that'll be a lot more just seeds. I don't know what I'll do exactly, but I do want to plant a few more seeds. I think we'll have quite a lot of cucumbers just from that. You can see we'll have plenty of pollinators over here in the weeds. I actually need to start cutting back some of that. It's getting quite close. And you can see that I cut a bunch of this back all over the place to give myself more room for the tomatoes. The 5-12 tomatoes, the first of them. And again, I just chunked out the dirt and I flipped the patches. I need to extend it a little further. You can see I stopped. I had enough and it's going to go to the end there, you see, and it's going to come the whole way there to here. But I had as much as I needed initially, and I said, okay, I'm putting it in. Here's where it gets a little precarious, but I'll deal with that first. And run it up this way, and that'll be enough. But again, this is going to have to be done soon because I have a bunch more tomatoes already ready to go in. Peppers as well. Gonna have to put that, get that going. But here, I'm not going to be able to remember, as usual with our tomatoes, which exactly all of these are as I look at them here. But I know for the most part I put the bigger tomatoes in the back, and then the smaller, the cherry types in the front. think these are the Chadwicks. I have a Napa, I think, one Napa or something on the end, and a few yellow plums, my only yellow plums. I might have like two bigger varieties, like a Marglobe and a Roma or something here that didn't fit, or an Amish paste. This might be the Marglobe back here. One of these in the middle is the Marglobe, I believe. But again, all of these looking really nice. I'm thinking about maybe the chipmunks again are coming back here and doing the same thing they do. I need owls. I just need some owls around here. They're close. I just need them to come closer and deal with my chipmunks so I don't have to. But yeah. Other than that, they're doing fine. Got a couple large red cherries, couple Chadwicks in here. Got some Cherokee purples, I think, somewhere around there or over here. Yeah, definitely a nice amount. And many, many more to come. Many, many more to come. And you can see how far away I had to place them. And my plan is, and people might be wondering, well, those are really close together. Are you sure you're going to have enough room? My plan is to put a path here and basically have two next to each other. So path there, and then two more, and a path, and then two more rows next to each other. And try to maybe put a smaller stake on each side, and then run like a tight string across both ways, and try to bring both of them in. Run the string between and on the outsides to keep them apart and from falling out, into the paths or out that way, and see if that works. I know I'm really doing a lot of guesswork. I've done a little bit of research, doing a lot of guesswork though. I know other people don't even do anything. They just plant the tomatoes and let them go, so we'll see. But these are looking nice. I doubt that there's any flowers just yet, but you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if by next vlog there are some. Oh, look at that. Bam. I think those are yellow plums. Here, our peppers, the first patch that we had done, they at least have a little bit of mounding there from the topsoil, but even that hasn't deterred all the weeds. But here are the habaneros. I'm not gonna take some real deep looks at them unless I feel the need. These are from the 16th here, the first 4. March 16th, and then we have our March 9th ones. Rebel Garden ones looking real tiny. Most of them looking really tiny now that they're in the ground, to be honest. Hoping they'll perk back up. And they're at least growing somewhat. I've had a lot of still pest issues. I was hoping that I have more predators for those pests out here, but I don't know. There's a ton of aphids. If I would check out some of the goldenrod in there, you would see a bunch of aphids all over the stalks of the goldenrod. It's annoying. It's kind of gross. These last 3 from the 2nd of March, we lost one of them. I believe it was Rebel Gardens habanero, but I think we have a new Rebel Gardens habanero. We'll see those later. Not bad. No flowers yet, but I didn't expect that. And the problem is that with all the rain, we're having a lot of dirt spraying up onto them because we don't have any mulch or anything down, which is another problem, which would also help with all the weeds. We need to do that maybe this week if we can. But yeah, the habaneros being so small, they're just getting wrecked. There's just dirt caked all over them. I kind of cleaned them up. I think they're okay now for the most part, but then you get up here into the leaves in there, and I can't get to it, so it's too bad. Yeah, the cayennes from the 2nd. Again, only 3 of these from the 2nd. I think it was the sustainable sprout actually that didn't make it from the 2nd of March. But some flowers coming up on those finally. I think they were a little stunted from just taking so long to get them out here, because they were doing okay a while ago. These doing a little more okay from the 9th because they weren't stuck as long. You can see some nice flowers coming up all over on these already. This would be the Nature's Edge there first. And second here, I say that because it's important, because this is the sustainable sprout, which I was probably, because usually it's doing the best. You'll just have to look back at the video or watch it to find out. When I took a deep dive, I think 2 videos ago on this. Yeah, I think it was 2 videos ago. A couple flowers again coming up. Serenity, a couple flowers. These from the 9th, I think, are the furthest along. Actually, whoa, look at that. Where is that from? Right there. There it is, the first one. Serenity, I think, wins. And I was just going to say that Rebel Gardens was winning. So close to having a win. I don't think I missed any that were fertilized or that were pollinated on the other ones. But these will certainly be done soon themselves. Rebel Gardens. Got on ya. Just wish they were a little bigger than this when this started happening. And here we have, from the 16th, not looking as good, Nature's Edge. Still has some flowers on it at least. Sustainable sprout. Serenity even worse. And unfortunately, this Rebel Gardens got wrecked. Luckily it has some flowers coming back, or some leaves coming back, so it should survive. And now the jalapenos from the 16th. These are actually looking quite nice now that they're taking root in there. Bigger leaves, chunkier stalks, some flowers. Cool, cool, cool. Now, I didn't expect to see flowers on the habaneros yet because they're habaneros. It's nice to see them on both the cayenne and the jalapenos, though. And they seem to usually fruit around the same time. Cayenne do seem to be a little faster. Now, this is interesting. This is one that was gotten by the cutworm. It looked a little better last time I came out here, but still, I'm pretty sure that this thing took root. I just stuck the top back in. But nonetheless, either way, the old stem that I just also left in there, stuck the top of it and next to it, did come back with a vengeance against the cutworms, apparently. So I may end up with 2 peppers there because of the cutworm. Possibly. You have another from the 9th. That was the Rebel Gardens. This is Serenity Sustainable Sprout here. More flowers, it looks like, little ones. And Nature's Edge, the other one that got cutwormed. And again, looking perhaps like it may just work out. Maybe if I put them a little further away, it would have been better, but that's all right. This one again came back. It's crazy. But again, it's another thing to note. Look at that thing. Oh, he hopped or flew. He might have flown at my face and left. But I've never seen one like him. This is what I like to see. There you go. So the 9th cayenne are doing good because it was a little long. They usually come up a little earlier, I think, than jalapenos. The cayennes from the 2nd were a little late they're, probably too late, I should say. Here, the jalapenos from the 2nd might be a little more on time. So you see a nice flower there. Yeah, nice 2-pronging happening. I mean, these look like beautiful peppers. Got another one with a big old aphid on there. Got nice flowers. And finally, ooh, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Gonna have some really nice looking, if they survive all the pests and other things, some really nice looking jalapenos back here, I believe. And other things. And of course, there's going to be at least twice as many as we have now planted in here. If not more than twice as many. Probably more than twice as many. Luckily, we have more than twice the room left still. I'm also going to mention that here's where the melons are going to go. Probably going to start right about here-ish. I want to get at least maybe 5 feet. A little more if I can. Start about there. run it along the fence down to there, maybe curve it inward to where those rocks are, in here where the clotheslines are, around there and into where those rocks are connected, for the melons, and also maybe some sunflowers in the back. And finally over here, well, first these California Wonders that definitely need to get out of here. Maybe I'll put them in the home garden somewhere near the other peppers. Nope, those are, oh, actually, I'm sorry, fella. You might be okay. I think that might be a firefly. I thought it was something else. There's another beetle that looks like that that's not good for the stuff. But here we have tons of fireflies. It's okay. Here we have, oh, look at that. Some, it's like some sweat, tomato sweat there happening. But yeah, look at these beautiful early girl tomatoes coming up by seed here. I mean, they are just doing wonderful. Not only that, but look over here. Look at these. These are California Wonders. Tons of California Wonders. Almost every single one of these came up, and these were from a store-bought pepper, bell pepper. I say California Wonders. They're probably just some kind of smaller bell pepper. They might not be too small, but yeah, they're from a store-bought pepper. Threw the seeds in there, and man, I was surprised how many came up. Of course, next to that, there's our raspberries that really need to come out and never have. There's a couple pieces of goldenrod that luckily aren't infested with red aphids. In fact, don't see any that have red aphids on them right now, which is nice. But you can see also all of our gorgeous wild strawberries, not trying to encroach on the pepper patch, this pepper and tomato patch, seed patch. But this beautiful batch right there, I love how that one wasn't even planted by me. And this here, a couple other ones maybe around in this area, on that side of the raspberries. But then this side, more or less, not over there as much. But you can see all of them running. Look at all those runners. Look at all these runners out toward me, out of here. This is what I want to see. This is my strawberry patch, the one I transplanted in, basically, these big chunks of dirt that were the sod layer that had a bunch of strawberries, and just kind of plucked away the bigger other weeds as they went every so often, and that's all I needed to do. Got ourselves a giant wild strawberry patch. Now, there aren't many wild strawberries yet. Here's another firefly, I guess. I hope that's what that is. Pretty sure. No flowers, but they should be coming up at some point. This obviously is not getting cut back. It's allowed to just do its thing. Not like strawberries get big, so nothing to worry about there. Loving it. The goal is to plant the raspberries here and have the strawberries keep running out there as I plant raspberries too. And I'd like to get blueberries running back this way, and maybe some low bush blueberries working as ground cover for them, as the wild strawberries will act as ground cover for the raspberries. I really don't get out to the tree, apple tree, and the other things really over there very often, I should say. So kind of excited to see what's going on. Look at these apples. Oh man, they're getting there. You know what else is happening? So many apples that they're dropping to the ground, which means hopefully there will be some the deer to take down there instead of taking the good ones up here. Plus, most of these are really high up there. Look at, there's no way a deer's getting that way up there. Most things aren't. Add here to the grapes and the other newer apple trees. Go our close grape here first. It's starting to actually look like, I was considering whether I would need them or not, but it's starting to look like I may need to brace them already with something. Start giving them something to trellis up, because that branch, I'm glad to see that something is growing there, but it needs held up, I think, by something. Again, looking good, looking like a nice big old grape vine starting off already. Early years, but looking good. This marigold not looking so good. I'm liking that. Not expecting a whole lot of grapes, if any. this first year, for us at least, for having this. Is probably the second year of its life. It has to be, right? It's got to be on its second year. Little tendrils, though. Nothing to grab onto, but they're there. There's nice little leaves starting down there, too. This one looking about the same. Like how it's always nice and prominent, straight up in the air there. Not sure what's happening in there. The little pointy guys in there. But that's something. Definitely something happening. Also has some, looks like little spindly things, little grabby guys itself. Like this, but newer. It's looking good. It's looking good. Again, this marigold doing that, and there's beautiful, beautiful marigold there. First apple here, the Honey Crisp. Its marigold's doing fine. Much less weeds. Easier to take care of it too, even though I have not done anything to take care of it. And not sure we're going to see any apples on this year. Not seeing any at all. We will probably, because of that, see some new growth, a lot more new growth, maybe, hopefully. At least it'll be doing something. Oh, wait a second. Hello. One random apple on the tree. But it's there, I guess. Nothing else. Hopefully it'll last. We'll see if it does. Got a big old mark there already. But hey, there's one. At least we know it'll. At least we know it works. The tree works. Yeah, but I'm not seeing any more flowers, so I don't think it'll. Yeah, be coming. No more will be coming up, unless perhaps. I don't think on the new growth, but unless maybe the new growth will shoot out some flowers, we'll see. But that's okay, not terrible. Again, I think early, maybe next season, we're gonna have to probably trim off this branch here and let this become our lead branch, main branch, without having to compete with that one. And these might be trimmed back too. We might have to trim this about halfway back with this one. Again, to keep this one the prominent one. But it's alright for now. For now, it's doing okay, I guess. Oh man, this one I was going to say I'm much less worried about because it's growing the correct way with a nice main stem. Its marigolds are looking just fine. But it is bent over. If you look down here at the stem, and even the trunk, nothing really, it's really just up here. So I'm wondering if it's just because of the apple. You really think it could be because of the apples that it's doing that? Because this was almost straight up, and I hope it will remain that way, because again, has a really nice structure so far. Not only that, but has a lot of nice apples, very nice looking apples. If only it wasn't. Of course, all the heavy winds don't help. And all the heavy rain doesn't help. But we definitely have several apples here. 10 apples there, not bad. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that soon. Macintosh is what this one is. Hopefully it'll be saved. I don't know what I'm going to do about it though. I guess you can, it's probably okay to stake it, but not for too long, because if you do that, then it's going to start growing to resist the stake, and it's going to grow in the opposite way you want it to. So hopefully we can figure out what to do about that. It'd be nice if the wind would just blow it back the other direction, but it doesn't do that, so we're out of luck with that, I think. So here, first out on the porch, have our sages. Decent one here. Maybe we should cut that top off. The dead one, probably should just get rid of that. And the nice one there, got one lavender, the bigger one, smaller lavender, both of them looking okay. They might even root again the way they are. This is what keeps happening. I see in some of the other pots, whenever I keep them long enough and they sit like that, they will actually end up rooting again with these long stems. So really it is almost a way to get rid of that long stem in a sense, but of course the root system is attached to that anyway. These are the marjoram. Bad marjoram, should get rid of that. Good marjoram, should probably cut that back, let it bush out a little bit there. So one of each of those two. Both of the lavender, okay. One of each of this. Two is sage, I should say. One of each of the sage and the marjoram, probably beyond saving. As we round the corner, we see the parsley here, still doing its thing as it has been. A couple of these were like shriveling away. I don't know if they're just kind of dying off or what. Happening on a lot of them though. Also, this strawberry that we had quarantined can probably cut back a few of those other leaves that were browning, but it's obviously come back quite nicely. Even has a bunch of that, I mean, huge flower stem there, flower stalk. A lot of them pollinated that one. And also, this is that little lady bell pepper from my grandmother's I was going to throw out. She threw out, I took, see if I could bring it back to life. And then I was going to throw it out because I didn't think I did, but lo and behold, something's happening. Kind of a waste of the little pot here, but I don't think I really need it right now, so it's okay. Here are the dying nursery plants. I'm going to actually try to get all of those in the ground somewhere soon, wherever I can get them, just so they can actually be used. Especially, I mean, I really like these sun patiens there. This one's a really cool color mixture, I think. This moss phlox is pretty awesome. Only one flower left currently, but it looked really, really nice. And I think it kind of runs, so I'd really like to see that. I think maybe we can get these, I don't know, petunias or something to come back. Wormwood's still looking okay. That should go somewhere because it's supposed to be chipmunk deterrents. Don't know what this stuff is, but again, might as well put it somewhere. The peanuts are doing their thing. As always, not a whole lot of difference except that. So I'm assuming now what will happen, I have no idea really. There's another flower right there. I thought there was one a little higher up, but maybe not. I assume what will happen is maybe the tendrils come out of the flower then and stick into the ground. So we'll hopefully see that soon. And maybe we'll have a couple of little peanuts this season. Again, more nursery plants that I really want to get in the ground. The cone flowers in the back here especially. Definitely the lavender that's already flowering. Look how awesome that looks. Beautiful. I really like the lavender. It's given me a lot because I haven't been able to do it very successfully myself. These dry herbs, dry Mediterranean herbs, not too much luck with them. I haven't had a whole lot of luck. Really just basil and dill and maybe a little bit of the marjoram is what I've had luck with. Spearmint, but that doesn't really count. But yeah, this definitely want to get this summer. We have that other lavender that's probably a couple years old in the front. It's flowering nicely. We'll look at it in a little bit. These geraniums are coming back really nicely. Lovely flowers on them right now. Again, we would like to get those in. I think they're perennials and they crawl around, so some good ground cover for years to come. Same with the lemongrass, if we can get it to survive in our climate. But again, look at how dead it's getting. It is grass, so it'll be okay. We just really need to get it somewhere. Here, still nothing in this bottom left corner, but we have our parsley still doing its parsley things. Have the cilantro coming up pretty nicely, I think. Just noticed that the dill, the couple of dill that survived all the hard rain, has been dug up by the darn chippies, I assume. At some point, once I get everything, all the market stuff settled, I would like to try to resituate the other things. And of course, with the nursery plants, once those go in the ground, this will be cleared out for the most part. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, the arugula. I was just out here yesterday plucking some flowers. Obviously, it's starting to just take over, starting to beat me. I mean, it's going nuts. Should definitely have enough. It doesn't have that many leaves. I think that's the problem, is it has less leaves because it's shooting up all these flower nodes. So yeah, one of the biggest problems with this with me, I don't know how much more, if I'm ever going to do arugula again, because now my fingers are going to smell like arugula, and I I really don't like the smell very much, or the taste. Not sure if that's an actual plant or that over there. I think this, though, is the chard, yes. All the, well, all the lettuce was coming up. Ooh, uh-oh. Well, that one's done. We do have this and this. Might as well just put another lettuce back in here because, what is that? Because, you know, it's lettuce. It'll grow pretty quickly. Yeah, so more parsley. Still alive. This one, and both of these now just alone in their containers. This one actually doing really well now. It's has been the best parsley we've had for a bit now. It's gonna probably retain that title finally to the pot of herbs here from the hydroponics, all transplants. And again, got quite a hole there. Just started down here with our parsley, the other parsley. It's coming up nice now, starting to come up nice. I think maybe I've just been underwatering because it seems like the rain's really helping this stuff out. Maybe not so much the peppers, but everything else. The dill, you can probably see maybe the aphid that's caught in a spider web there. So I'm gonna just let that go. If he's gonna do his job, then I'll let him have his reward. But yeah, again, I've learned now, finally, almost too late for this one, but maybe not quite. You got to top the dill like you do other herbs, like with the basils here. We'll see. Not so much with the parsley because it grows like that down with the stem there, the base. But yeah, dill, got to top it. Now it's a little bushier. This is the large leaf Italian, starting to have some leaf nodes popping up on the stem finally. But again, they were topped. They're starting to bush up quite nicely. That's another leaf node there. Yeah, not bad at all. Same with this one, the Genovese here. Probably even bigger, I would say. But more and more looking like normal plants. And now for the tomatoes, our early growth, the last one transplanted, and these new 5-gallon nursery fabric bags over here next to the makeshift forge, which has grown over since haven't been able to really use it. So far behind with gardening is the anvil tire piece of railroad track. Anyway, the early girl actually probably ready to be have a little bit of care taken to it. Suckers growing toward the bottom, all over the place, really. Actually, look at that. That already has a little flower bundle, I guess you call them. As some tomatoes grow, the smaller types, I guess, right? This is first. Let's just take a look at all of how wonderful these things are looking. I mean, they're okay with the rain. These pots have been filled to the brim with water because we've just had these downpours. But the tomatoes are doing their thing. I mean, they are maybe some of them are reaching actually like halfway up these posts already. So, I mean, I don't know. Look at all these flowers. This is the black crim. These are going to be some big ones, I think. That's a nice big flower bud bundle there. But some of these surely are being pollinated. Anyway, I want to say this is the bodacious, but don't quote me on that. I will put the name, the actual one it is, wherever on the screen. But again, it's looking nice. Either way, it's one of the beefsteaks. No open flowers yet, but certainly getting there. And some of these already have a second brace. some of them getting close to needing the second one. I could see getting another one on here soon, right up about there, as it starts to slowly fall away. Good old Brandywine Red there. Definitely going to be getting, I might even double up my tomato varieties. I might go for about 20 next year. Actually, I might have about 20 right now. Again, all of them are looking nice. This is one of the shorter ones, it looks like. Definitely going to have to try our hand at some preserving of some tomato seeds. Definitely going to be doing a lot of canning, jarring, pickling of stuff. Maybe not pickling of tomatoes, obviously, but of stuff. Saucing, preserving. That'll be this fall and into the early winter, of course. Once we have the excess harvest, I should say. And that'll, of course, be the next vlog, the Viri Christi canning vlog. This is interesting. These flowers grew through that leaf, I think. That is crazy. What? So that's a thing, I guess. But yeah, this aroma here, doing just fine. All of them doing just fine. A lot of flowers on here. Yeah, so it'll be great to start seeing some little tomatoes. I don't think we have any actually fruiting yet. We could further on here. We'll see, maybe on the Cherokee Purple, because some of these might be pollinated. I just don't think they're quite fruiting yet. But that means, I mean, they're basically in the process of. It's just kind of hard to see them. Now that I look, some big old leaves getting bent because of all the wind and rain, heavy rain, and that's unfortunate to see. This again, one that's tied up a second time. So yeah, a lot of flowers on this cherry, and it looks like, it's hard to tell. Again, it's so dense in here. Trying to see, there is this, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, there's the main stem, and then there's a ginormous sucker right here. I mean, to me, this is just another part of the plant, and it's going to grow. I mean, right now, this is what it looks like, I guess, but it's eventually going to just do the same thing. I mean, it's going to grow, it's going to branch off, it's going to grow flowers and fruit. So I don't see the reason to. I see the maybe the need to get some of the low ones. You want to open it up for some airflow. Maybe even why you would get rid of some of the small, if you see smaller suckers inside, but that one's huge now. But yeah, that's where that's coming from. And there's also another one. Yeah, there we go. So this is all, I think, another sucker here, which is crazy. But tons of flowers on that one. Here, though, I snuck a peek while I was talking about that one. I'm not gonna lie. The Cherokee Purple, the very first one that came out. Also the biggest one, which is why I brought it out first. Look at that double. Oh my goodness! Look at that stem. If I can get a shot of it, there we go. Look at that thing. Oh my, so big. Branches, it just breaks into two. It's like a tree almost. It's like a big giant pepper, two-pronged. So this one, like the newer of the two, the smaller of the two, if you will. Huge flowers all over the place, of course. But hey, look at this. There it is, fellas. Our very first tomato fruiting. I don't know what that's about. That looks like a dead flower. Yep, that's our first fruiting tomato. I hear bees flying around. I don't think this area is wanting for bugs and pollinators. There's so many weeds around here. I think that kind of attracts them. Oh yeah, not to mention all the clover that just grows all over my yard. So that helps. I even have more white clover, white Dutch clover, which is what that is, which I'm gonna try to seed in other certain areas to make it even denser. But yeah, first tomato, growing. Cherokee purple. That's definitely going to be one that first fruits probably have to be eaten on stream, on, live-ish at least. Anywho, got our Amish paste. Getting nice flowering. Very nice and long. It's actually standing up much nicer than most of the other ones, it looks like to me. But I'm liking the look of all of them. This is the super sauce. Maybe liking its look a little less than some of the other ones. Probably the smallest one. Also, it came out how much later? I think these two were only a day after these. This last one here was a week. This is the other beefsteak, either the regular or the bodacious. And oh my! Now it started doing really well in the hydroponics when it was by itself. After all the others came out, and I was still waiting to get something to put this in. So that might explain why it's doing quite well. But it has a lot of flowers that also look like they've been pollinated, at least some of them. So trying to see down in there, it's hard to see if there's any. Like this one right here, I don't know what they're supposed to look like. I'm much more well versed in peppers, but that could be a pollinated tomato flower. The other ones are more open and have like this one. I'll show you. Like that one, see, it's a pistil or whatever part that is still, it's like, looks much fresher, right? It's obviously not the one we saw before, obviously not closed up like the new ones like that or like this. So yeah, I don't know. And there it is in the back there. Cool. Again, I think the regular beefsteak could be the bodacious. Super sauce hybrid. Whatever kind of sauce, Roma, paste, some kind of paste. Has flowers though. Even if it's doing the worst. One of them has to be the worst, right? Other than the early grow on the end, that would have to be the actual worst. But it'll be a little smaller. It's a bush variety. I think it grows a little differently. It's also going to be restricted in its pot, being much smaller, but yeah. And so the first part of the strawberries here, these three, the runners, that were successfully transplanted into these little pots. I think doing quite nicely, other than being caked with dirt in some cases because of all the rain. But they've been quite resilient out here. All the strawberries, though, pretty much, I'm sure, just loving all the rain. Flowers, just all over the place. There's so many flowers on these strawberries. They're going crazy. Not so much the runners. I cut a couple off these a week or so ago. They haven't really shot up many more. That's a good thing. And of course on this side I was just trying to stay out of the sun. These two coming up really nicely on the side. Really nicely. I think, actually, no. Whichever one was the second runner to go in is of the white everbearing, the normal everbearing. But the top and the first one I got in, I think was the lower one here, is the red everbearing. So we will have a little variety. Knowing that, I should try to remember that, I should say, and try to do like I don't know, all the reds on the bottom and all the whites on the top, I guess. It's really the only way to do it, right? Again, more strawberries. Hopefully I'm gonna get them in the ground if I'm lucky in the next 2 weeks. This month would be my hope. They're looking good again. Flowers all over the place. They've come up like crazy. But yeah, definitely would be good to get them out of here. And I should also take note of which are which. Just let those flowers go, I guess. I guess I don't really need the flowers on any of them this year. Well, here we are with the potatoes. I'm tempted to find out what is in here, and I'll probably do that and attach it to this video or something else. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I want to wait. Kind of getting tired of waiting. Maybe that's going to be my downfall, because this looks like it might still be growing here, but I mean, it's still alive to some extent. Hasn't died back the whole way like I've read and heard you're supposed to let potatoes do. but they've been mangled by the chipmunks. So kind of ready to pull them out, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be used probably for, I don't know exactly what, probably a ghost pepper. And so I have some time to wait. One of my dad's friends brought these random tomatoes. They are Rutgers tomatoes that I guess his mother or something got from a church auction or something. So I have them now. Certainly find a place to put them. They definitely don't look too bad. Quite long already, but several leaves. A little stringy, but hey, those are my tomatoes. Not a whole lot of difference other than how much longer those are. Maybe to their detriment, but hopefully ours don't get that bad. See, the ones toward the end are getting it. We'll look at those later with the other seed starting stuff, but yeah, those getting kind of long, huh? Here, some of the last, I guess, of May 12th tomatoes to go in the ground. Still don't have enough room for them. Probably just about big enough. They were a little later coming into their solo pots, but probably about ready to come out. I think a lot of these are the cherry types. They're small types, so we have, I think, two super sweet, yeah, and the Margalobe on the end there. This one's the Napa grape. Here we got some of the peppers from the 12th. These are the ones these are actually the pepper brand experiment of the throwaway round, I guess, just to get more peppers. Really was the only reason. A couple of them have, I guess, had some enemies drop by. But yeah, I'm not going to go through exactly what each of them are. You can kind of see these are 3 cayenne. There were 3 cayenne, 3 habanero. So yeah, those are the habaneros. Looking decent. This one looks quite nice, actually. Let's take a look at what that one is. That is Sustainable Sprout. There you have it. As always, doing the best. These 2 jalapenos as well. Then, there they are. Not bad. Not bad. Need more pots. A couple more of the tomatoes I wasn't able to get in smaller solo pots, but I only had a couple, so I just put them in some other containers. This one there, one of the super sweets, looking good. I think, yeah, since I didn't have so many of the super sweets as I did the others, I figured I'd put that in the bigger container and be able to live out a little more of its life there before getting it transplanted. Also, one of the better looking ones, wanted to get it out. Chadwick cherry, one of the better looking Chadwicks. Looking quite nice. Nice and chunky guy there. So yeah, could we even pluck all these guys off? Pretty easy deal there. That's a sunleaf, they call them, or whatever. There's another name for them, I think. Pluck that guy. There's a little sucker starting. Pluck that guy. And let's also just take those seed leaves off that are still there. Anyway, back to some herbs here. The top of the other marjoram that's transplanted from the hydroponics, this one doing just much better. It's awesome. I guess this is probably one of my most successful herbs growing from the start, even though it was a cutting. I think these are flowers up there, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe by next vlog we'll see those. I'll hopefully take a picture when they do, just in case they don't last long enough. Down here is the sage that we moved out of the giant planter that had 4 Mediterranean herbs in it. Since it was down to 2, I figured I'd just move them into their own pots. I think they'll appreciate the clay pots more anyway. This one looking really nice. Got a new little leaf node there starting up. Yeah, definitely the best one, but that's because, I mean, that's why it's already transplanted. I really need to get, just over here are those other ones. I really need to do something with those soon. Again, still thinking about putting them in with the tomatoes as some companions. These are the last of the tomatoes, the worst of the tomatoes from the 12th. Just didn't want to have them go to complete waste, so threw them in some of the cups. That's why I'm thinking maybe I'll use the cups again for if I really need to throw some stuff in cups. These tomatoes, not that it was bad, but I ran out, so this super sweet ended up in a cup, but it's looking nice. This I think is either another no, it's a Marglobe actually. Looking good though. More and more tomatoes. Can even do more if we take the suckers, get some clones of all of them, but I don't think we have the room this year. Maybe next year. Have to do a better job thinking about considering where to put the tomatoes, because they take more space than the peppers and the cucumbers do. This is the Bonchi chili and basil table, I guess, or it will be at least soon. Right now it has some other herbs. We'll just focus on the herbs though for now. The first basil. This is the other one that was cut out of the hydroponics. This was the Genovese. Doing great now, finally. I mean, oh man, it's just leaves bursting out all over the place. And then we have these red basils that were from the nursery but rooted in water. This one's a little newer, so don't want to do too much moving around to that one. And here, this one much older. This one's looking great. It's even been plucked, cut, topped right there. I could definitely use a little bit of a trim back on some of those older, lower leaves, but yeah, looking just great. One of the better things I can grow, I guess. I guess it is kind of easy. They also say that about rosemary, and I had no luck with that. Here's the speaking of the lavender, not the rosemary, but the lavender, which I think is very, very similar. But one of my successful lavenders grown there. You can see it's finally looking a little more like those nursery ones. And the marjoram that was from the hydroponics that I topped, and we saw the result of that already. That amazing looking one. This one a little held back, I guess, but still here. I was gonna cut. I think this was the thing I was gonna cut off, but it has a couple leaves now. Maybe I'll just take off this little branch stem on the end there, clean it up just a tad, but it's not looking bad at all now. It's coming together. It's coming together. It has a smaller pot too, so got to keep that in mind. That is all the herbs that are there. The final herbs to look at. Two of our beasts. Let's check out this sweet basil, which is getting torn apart by something, I guess. Man, I'm having a lot of different pest problems at once here in the middle of the season, I'd say. But other than that, you can see that is where, can you see? A couple weeks ago I topped it right here, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. There it is. It's nuts. It's going crazy. So we could even do that again in some places probably. But yeah, and it was also just cut back to gather some basil. I usually, I have a lot of dried stuff, but it hasn't been used as much, so maybe I'll be able to do some spices with the dried stuff myself later on, more preservative wise, instead of people coming out grabbing the fresh stuff, which is just fine. But yeah, a lot of issues. And finally here, another one that's been eaten a little bit by something. Beautiful spearmint, which more and more just takes over this container. That's why they tell you to put it in pots, I guess, because it will do just this, no matter where it goes. Some of these are like fresh little shoots coming out of the ground, and they already look like part of the main plant is just as big. I had one of those, now it's gonna be hard to, I think it's this one that was the very first one. I think I'd like to top it right about there, just because it's gonna start, I think, climbing up real long there. So I might top that thing soon. But yeah, spearmint going nuts itself. Not sure exactly, other than like flavoring drinks and stuff, what you would use it for, but I'd like to find out. Gonna have a ton of it. I think I may have forgotten the red basil on my way through, so here we go. I think this is a flower. Cool. Has a bunch of them actually. Well, a couple at least there. But just like the sweet basil, looking amazing. All these, this is cut back right down there, I believe, and so we have these two long new stems coming out. Yeah, and look how gorgeous it is. Oh man, I love that color. This also, some has been taken back. So everyone that has seen it is like, oh, I want to try that. Like I said, one of the ones I have rooting in water, I'll put in a small pot, is going to go to somebody else that does some herb gardening, so appreciate that. Now onto the peppers. I never know really where to start, but I guess I will start right here with these very awesome my December peppers, my two December peppers, the cayenne and the serrano, the two that survived my initial gardening escapades. You see, perhaps, some decent sized flowers on there, huh? Yeah, they're coming up. They're coming. They're gonna be some little cayennes. We saw the little ones that are growing on the peppers, and we'll see again how they're doing on the porch. The little small cayennes we have there. These are maybe going to be a little smaller, but they'll probably work out, some of them at least. And even better, probably, we have a little friend. I think a friend on the top here. I think he's a good guy. Could be wrong. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. I'll take a picture. Maybe the Seek app will tell me later what he is. But yeah, the serrano coming back strong, even though it's very sideways. I have a couple sideways peppers now. There is one, I mean there's multiple flowers you can see all over the place, but there's one, there it is, that is about to open, and we're about to have our first serrano pepper, hopefully growing. Can't wait. In fact, going to be our third different type of pepper. All we've had so far are jalapenos and cayennes. So we begin to get into the varieties. Even though we've planted so many different types, those are the only two that were successful so far. Here, the solo potted California Wonder. Nice bundle of flowers happening there. Probably gonna pluck those once I can, let it get a little bigger because it's still a little scrawny thing. Most of the other ones are kind of starting to pick up in size. These two, I'm just letting those go because they're so old. I want to see. They're almost like beta versions of my bonsai chilies because they're unintentional ones at that. But yeah, probably gonna let this get a little bigger before I let the flowers go. But it's looking nice, nicer than most of the California Wonders. We'll look at the other one now. Alright, there's the one. Also has its own nice little bundle of flowers. Here the other. Sorry, it's up on top of this thing. So stretching a little bit here to see if the sun's not helping it at all. But yeah, again, this one too looks much like the others. I guess they're all kind of doing the same. It's good to see they're finally getting some flowers. After listening to one of the pepper guys I listen to that's actually from my part of the country, he said he had a lot of problems with heirloom California Wonders. He wasn't sure if he was going to grow more of them. I was hoping I wouldn't have the same issue. We saw all the browning leaves. I don't see any brown leaves now. They actually look amazing. Comparatively, compared to when they were not looking amazing, it's like a complete 180. I guess while we're over here, this is the Generation 2 cayenne from Nature's Edge, and it has some nice little flowers that are probably soon to be open. Starting on it, I'm gonna let that go. You can see we didn't see this on many of my peppers yet, so I might as well show you now that it's happening. The suckers that grow from peppers as well, just like on tomatoes. It's like a whole new pepper plant. And if I wanted, I guess I could pluck those, but I don't really care that much to do it. We've seen a lot of this happening on our plants. These are down at the seed leaves again, and that's why I know this was my best of the Gen 2 cayennes. Again, that being from the first fruit that I had grow in the hydroponics. Took the seeds, threw them in a seed starter, and here we have them. The best looking one. The other one's gonna see. We saw back there in the garden. But yeah, those, we saw a lot of those. But finally, we have, this is what they actually grow into, a whole nother plant, basically, just like on a tomato. See some flowers and some branching happening eventually there. But yeah, tons of that already going on at the top. It's gonna be a nice little pepper, I think. And I think this is this I read is like, it's not a true 5 gallons, but it is the 5 gallon measurement of a nursery bag. That's why it looks a little smaller. But this is almost the right size for basically anything. To me, it seems a little small for a tomato this, but they say it's big enough. I'd say maybe if you have a determinant, I think they maybe grow smaller. Like this, or you have just a small hybrid, maybe you could do those. But like if you're talking like, I think cherry types get big, the plants themselves, and also probably most of like the large varieties probably do as well. So I don't know if I'd want them in this. I'd probably go for, this is twice the size here, the 10 gallon. There's also a 7. I'd probably go at least a 7 myself, but what do I know? That's my first year assumptions. We will wait on that fella back there. Come over here to our other banana peppers, or the first banana peppers I guess we're looking at. We only have 4 at this point, the one that's indoors, the 3 that are here. So yeah, nice flowers growing on here. Again, these are from the nursery, so had much more of a head start than most of my other things. So it's looking nice. This one also looking nice. Has a little bit of leaf damage. I'm not sure what that's from exactly, but that's okay. Nonetheless, it has flowers, maybe a couple less than the other one, but that's okay. Still doing nice. But look at this honking one next to it, the one that's in the pot by itself. I mean, yes, it's higher up, so there's that. But here's my hand with my thumb in the dirt, and here's my hand with my thumb in the dirt. It's much bigger, and because of that, you can see we also have some very close to open flowers on here too. And so it might be a race between this and the Serrano at the moment. We might see some more flower buds though, which is going to be our third type of pepper that comes up, and the first that comes up outside. But this pepper is looking amazing. I mean, obviously it's the best one. We'll check out some of them right now. I guess the Hungarian black, that is always unfortunately in the spot that the wind hits the most, and so it's been blowing a bit sideways, always the wrong way. It's a nice curve now though, so pretty resilient. It's worked out, and you can see here too, flowers just all over, loaded with flowers. Not open yet, but they look really cool, don't they? So they got the dark purple stem like the rest of the plant basically, and then they have that they can sort of see the sort of striped dark purple and green leading to the flower. Just an interesting striped color as well. So it's coming along nicely. One of the first yogurt peppers, yogurt container started peppers. This in the Aleppo, which was the one that was up there, but I took it down here because I want to get a better look at it. Look at this just dense canopy it has here at the top. Again, one of the best looking peppers I think we have. I don't know if this is, it can't be sun damage. It's got to be something trying to eat it or whatever. But it's okay. Again, like the other ones, I think it'll be just fine with that. It's quite large enough now to deal with some pest issues itself. Got nice flowers. I don't think any are super close to opening, but I don't think it'll take too long for them. I try to give you a look at that. Yeah, I don't see any that are open yet, but they're gonna be there soon. And this will be one of the spicier. I guess not as spicy as a cayenne though. Cayenne's still the spiciest that we've had. And over here are 4 bonsai chilies. One of them actually finally in a bonsai container. Kind of small, but just fit what we had. Should probably dump this. Yeah, I think this container will work out. I might put one in a bigger one of these fish peppers, because I think it'd be nice to get one large one, since I got 3 of these and only one of the Ring of Fire cayenne, which I think of all the peppers is the only other one that has a flower started on it that's open. I mean, I count that as open, I suppose. Has some other nice ones in there. It's looking really good. All these other ones, this was the smallest one and oldest fish pepper from the 2nd of March. This is from the 9th. This is the 16th in this one as well. But that, the Ring of Fire cayenne, definitely doing the best. Has the most flowers on it too. I don't know if I saw any flowers on the fish. But now the variegated foliage, very prominent all over it. Looks amazing. One of the nicest looking. Maybe beating out the Hungarian black here now that the black tint to the leaves is mostly gone. Maybe not so much on the old ones down here, but you don't see a whole lot of it. But yeah, these leaves are pretty nice, and I think the flowers and the fruits will also be pretty nice looking. But yeah, no flowers yet, I don't think. Just on this one. Cayenne, a different variety, maybe just a little faster. And finally, the very first or second round of the hydroponic peppers. First one to come out, the Anaheim chili here. Finally, all of them, I think, too. I think it's all of them flowering. And I'm going to keep these. It did at first. I plucked a few of them, and then it didn't have flowers for a while. And I started to get concerned. But now all of a sudden, it's loaded. Everywhere you look, there's a little flower there. Probably has a nice, strong enough root system. I mean, you look at those big, stocky trunks. Bigger than a lot of the other ones. They are much older than most of the other ones, too. And the 2 poblanos came out. I think this was the first to come out, the larger of the 2. And I think these flowers might be even bigger. So that might also be because of the variety. Poblanos are much bigger than the Anaheim chilies. But yeah, several flowers on there. Got our other poblano. Several flowers on that one. Yeah, and this I think was just all within the last week or so. And this, the last one to come out, and our only yellow Hungarian bottle wax. Still those are still the 2 older brown leaves there, so no new browning, but not a whole lot of leafing either, even though we do have, again, more flowers there as well. Not much happening over here yet with our oregano. Hopefully it starts getting a little bigger than that. Probably needs a little more water, but yeah, that's where it's at so far. This was a hole from me, so it wasn't a chipmunk, as some of the other holes are. And here, now not able to fit on the camera anymore, at least at this angle, the tricumber and dill, which is right now just the duocumber and dill. Should probably plant the 3rd cucumber at this point though. I'm going to first mention that I now finally realized, it was very stupid of me not to have, but realized that dill needs to be topped, just like all other herbs, perhaps most other herbs, if not all. You can see now it's stopped. It won't continue to grow longer and longer and longer and longer. It's already insanely long, but at least now I stopped the main growth. You already see, look at how much it's already grown from there. there. But it also has this new shoot down here, which makes it twice as bushy as it was before, even though it doesn't look like it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get it to start. But we also have more dill now just coming up, so we'll be able to work with that more properly. And you can see this one in the back, same thing done. In fact, now if these get a little bigger, I wouldn't mind cutting this whole thing off there, and this would be the very top, and eventually being able to top it from there. We can't really work it too far down the stem. And again, if we do another dill, the third dill over here, then we can make sure that that one turns out normally. To the cucumbers, this is our first, obviously. Starts right here, kind of curls around this direction and then back up over here, and then back over here. In fact, let me see here, yeah, and then it comes up here, up to here. Right about there is the top of it, if you can see that leaf on the other side. And these small leaves are part of it, I believe. Yeah. Not that one though. Not that big one over there. But yeah, not. And then also here, it actually did like a double branch now, where it has this thing coming up over here, and over here, in fact, it does have a few nice sized leaves, 3 nice sized leaves. This one belongs to the first cucumber. If you've seen the other garden vlogs, maybe that'll surprise you. Maybe it won't if you know anything about gardening. But yeah, that's a flower from the first one. You can see all the flowers. The second pepper, or the second cucumber, though, you can see starts there, wraps around this direction, around the dill almost. But it started its life in this pot. It's just been, and it's almost been out here the whole time. Not really, but almost. It comes up this way. Most of the big leaves, other than the ones I pointed out, belong to it. Up here, it's going crazy. Now that we're done with the dill, move it up, and you can see just how crazy this thing is. Let's see where it started here, and then this is where it came down this direction, and then bent the whole way around this way. It's got these tendril guys are all over the place, and it's come back around this way. It's back there. You could probably see it shaking right here. But then also it has this top one that it decided, oh wait, okay, I'm attached there, so maybe I'll focus on that, and it's done so. And then this is just one giant leaf coming off this direction, but those are some big, massive old cucumber leaves. Has a couple other giant ones. It's sort of going to start shading everything out below here if it continues to do that, which I guess would be okay. But yeah, it's huge. That's all I can say. It's so huge that it's, I think since last time, it was like just started over top of the black one, and I had mentioned how that before that I mentioned it was going to quickly outgrow the black trellis. Well, now it's not only outgrown it, but it's wrapped the whole way around, that it's almost coming back up from the back onto here. And not only that, but it has this other one here that it's begun. That's amazing. No cucumbers. There were a couple of female flowers at some point, but I missed the pollinating window of all of them. So we don't actually have any cucumbers yet. Hopefully that'll come soon. It should last, I think. I don't know if they have a lifespan other than they just grow till they die off because of the cold. Here, one of our first peppers. This is our solo potted jalapeno. It will be outside soon. It's had its issues with a lot of black little gnats, and like crawling around inside. I can see them. You can maybe even see them. There's so many of them flying around. So it's quarantined from everything else. There's also, I'm hoping that it's helping me a little bit. There's a brown spider that's made its abode in there. I think I may have moved him in there myself. I'm not sure. I did move a spider in. I think it was into that. So might be the one. He decided to take me up on the offer. I don't see him now. I actually haven't seen him all day, so hopefully he's still in there. But the black gnats, they have come back in droves. I'm not sure if something about the humidity and the, I don't even know. Anyway, let's get a little better look. There you have all the lovely little jalapenos started up. I think last count was 24. Some of them still very tiny. I don't know. That one's very, very tiny. Maybe it's just started. We could have some that end up being duds, but we certainly have a lot that are not. 2, 4, and 6, I would say, already 6 nice sized ones. It's looking really good. And again, it's been outside now, so getting a lot more sun. Of course, now it's not tied to that stake. I should just tie it back to that stake, and then it could handle a little more of the wind. Although then you get up to this part and it starts blowing around quite a bit, those small long stems of branches. But yeah, looking nice. More jalapenos on the way. And again, hopefully next year I can get some of these jalapenos, not all the potted ones, but if we're going to have multiple potted peppers of the same type like jalapenos, I might as well try to stagger their fruiting just a little bit. And we might as well go to those now. Just noticing this, I don't know what that's about, and I'm wondering, again, if it is a bug that's causing this. Got a lot of pests being pesty. Another thing to do more research on now, try to do much more preventative work. And some of the plants that aren't in the ground are supposed to be helping. These, of course, wouldn't be helped by that because they're in pots by themselves. I could even plant something in here with them. I probably should do that at some point if I'm going to keep these. I don't know if I'm going to keep these or not, though. These my generation 1 peppers. These 2, the ones we saw before, those cayenne right there. No jalapenos coming up. Maybe just a couple flower buds starting on these. They need fertilized soon. There's actually a nice looking flower bud right there. And there's another nice flower bud right here, actually. Right there. It's hard to see, but it right behind that leaf. So there are a couple. Let me see. That is 2 from the same to this one in the back. And I'm not seeing any for this one. Maybe we'll just cut it back and let the one go, let the other one come back in a bit. Maybe at least cut that off. I don't know. Maybe go back to there with it. Here, it's really hard to categorize these at this point because in their lives. This, the one that was the smallest pepper, cut back early on along with this one right here, which is now the biggest pepper. This little guy had another flower down here that I thought was fertilized or pollinated, but it must have fallen off, must not have made it. That's okay, so it would have been really tiny. I don't think it has any more at the moment, which again is all right. Must be really focusing on that nice little cayenne, but it's really coming along pretty quickly. And so once it's done, I'm gonna just snip off wherever. I mean, if there's another little sucker coming off up here somewhere, I'll just clip it right above the last sucker, and hopefully taking off. I'm gonna be taking off for sure this whole stem here. So it'll make it a little bushier like the one in the back there. Yeah. So of course the bottom is a little bit behind the other one. You can't see it, and it's just leafing up just like the rest of it is. A little less though, but of course at the top, as always, just like peppers, just know what they're doing. Yeah, right. Throws out a couple leaves down here, help with the gathering sun, doing its photosynthesizing. But then up here you have, and I didn't even notice until just now how many, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice looking flowers starting. So could have a couple more cayenne coming up there. If I want to keep it where it is. I don't know. we've cut it back this far at this point. Maybe we ought to let it leaf up a little more and get even bushier than it is now. I was going to zoom in for this, but I think it's just worth checking it out from this angle. That's the biggest cayenne right now, and it's only taken 2 days for this to happen. This one basically ready in 2 days. This one, I didn't see any changes. It might have been very faintly changing yesterday. So that's on its first day of change. This one on its second day of change. And that means, folks, oh yeah, there was also one on the very end here. It unfortunately didn't make it, kind of withered, and I just plucked it off. But that means that those, I could just take them off today. I'd take them both today, say whatever. I think maybe just leave them one more day, maybe 2 more days, take them off then. And I am, again, like I said, with that jalapeno over here that I might cut back quite substantially. And with this cayenne over here, the small one that also has a one growing on it, going to cut it toward the top and get that long branch off. Same with this one. I'm going to take both of these long branches off of it, bring it back down to its just this main trunk with several of its leaf nodes already started up again. So it's going to have a nice little advantage over the one in the back there that had literally nothing when I cut it back. Still, look how nice it came back. So yeah, it's going to cut back substantially all 3 of these cayenne once I do that. Once these 2 and then that one fruit on the other one are ripe, yeah, we'll just have 3 stumps that have nice bushy leaves around them, I guess. And the last pepper that kind of fits in with these guys, not because it was done at the same time, but because it's the other pepper that stays on the porch all the time. The one banana pepper that we are nursing, so it babying, you could say. So I have some banana pepper seeds for next year. And look at those nice leaves, though. It's got a new spot. It used to be down there because I had the single potted jalapeno here. It's just, this is on that 2-step stool hanging out. So yeah, now it's a little higher, getting more sun. It is looking really, really nice. One of the better peppers. Again, no damage at the moment, at least. You never know what's going to happen because a lot of these things are getting damaged inside the porch area. So could be from the beetles that I see flying around sometimes at night. Still waiting on some flowers from this. Probably going to see them soon. If not, may already be there. That's actually a flower right here. You probably can't see it, but right about there. Maybe another one right there. Not sure. Yeah, it's doing something. Structurally, it looks pretty great, I would say. As usual, no problem doing like a 2-prong thing there. Starting to prong out even further now. Here, the rest of the tomato, well, these are the peppers from the 12th. The other ones are the tomatoes from the 12th that have yet to come up or have just started recently to come up, and I'm waiting for them to get a bit bigger. This one actually almost ready to probably be transplanted, but I'm keeping them because it's crazy that they started coming up like 2 months, almost 2 months later. That one, the last one in there, kind of tempted to get rid of that. If I needed the thing, I would, but I don't, so it's still there. But yeah, they're just hanging out for now. Down here, all the melons that I would have hoped to have in the ground by now, but again, so much rain. If I'm lucky this week, it'll get done. I have a couple nice days maybe to work with. And then also, one of our red basils that we were able to pluck out, root, and water, and now just today put into this pot. This one I'm going to be giving away to somebody that's an herb gardener, you could say. So I think she'll appreciate that. Those in the very front are some cantaloupe, and then I have even more cantaloupe and last cucumbers also that didn't come up yet. Again, just saving them, seeing what happens. And even further on, can't really see them, but there's 3 more Jiffy pot like these cucumbers that didn't come up. Those also I'm waiting on. See what will happen. Canary melons in the back here. Hopefully get those in the home garden, in the front of the home garden sooner than everything else that has to go in the melon patch proper, which will be all these. These are 2 honeydew. There's 2 more honeydew that look basically just like them on the other side. Yeah, 2 more honeydew just like that over there. And in the middle, there was 1 more cantaloupe. I think I had another cantaloupe, but no, yeah, 4 of each. That 1 cantaloupe on the end there, it got ripped out, I believe, just naturally, if you can call it that. Yeah, 4 honeydew, just 1 cantaloupe in there in the middle. All these in the middle, running down the middle here, are my watermelons. There are 9 crimson sweet now, because we got this little guy that popped up. So just 1 that didn't of those, and we have 8 of the sugar babies. But here we go in the other opposite direction. We had 8 and 8. Now it looks like, whoops, now it looks like certainly we have 9 and 7. Don't know what happened with this one. Oh, I guess I didn't pull it out. I thought I ripped it right out of there. I wonder if it has something to do with, I don't even know. That looks like a root rot type, like it looks rotten is why I say that. And it looks toward the roots. And it's all very droopy, so I don't know. I don't know if that one will hold up. In here, the workstation, lastly, you can see the couple basil I have. That one actually from the hydroponics unit. The sweet basil regular one. That was large leaf Italian. Pulled out the smaller of the 2 basil that was growing in the hydroponics. I'm going to put that in one of those pots, just probably throw it outside for the year. Same with that red basil, it'll go in the other pot. Here we have the rest of our peppers from the 12th of May. The last ones I got to transplant into the solo pots, those cherry bombs there. Looking good, looking good. Here we have the pepperoncinis. Again, just working on all these today. Those cherry bombs will go in after the stream, or after the vlog, like most of the things I'm mentioning I'm going to be doing. Pepperoncinis, Greek ones, looking great. Now in their solo homes that they'll be in a couple weeks or so. Those things seem to grow really well, so looking forward to those. A nice mild pepper that the whole family can enjoy, just like banana peppers, I guess. Here we have another nice mild pepper, our other Jimmy Nardellos. Again, looking nice. That just sun damage, I think there, maybe. A dying leaf. But yeah, good looking peppers. These will be going back in the back with the other ones. Here are lettuce that should be transplanted, but still hasn't been, again, due to all the rain. Hopefully maybe today, a little later, I'll be able to do that. But again, because of that rain that we keep getting, you can see it's dirty. It was much dirtier. It's nice cleaned up now, sort of, a little bit. The leaves were not just had dirt all over them, but just, yeah, a lot of, because it grew so well. I mean, it's looking fantastic. It had a lot of older leaves that were dead or dying, so took a lot of those off. It's definitely perked up. All of it's grown nicely. Each spot there's maybe the smallest one, that little prize head there, but it'll do just fine. A little long at the base of the stem, but that's fine. Prize head. This is probably just 1 row of costs. Yeah, it looks like 1 row of costs and 2 rows of the bib here. Like the lettuce, still waiting to get this celery into the ground. Again, hopefully going to be able to do that today. But yeah, again, also like the lettuce, it's perked up very well. It's, again, very stringy. Hopefully that'll kind of be able to right itself once it gets into the ground. As it's gotten bigger, it's definitely gotten a little stockier, some of them at least. So hopefully we'll have at least a few pieces of celery. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks compared to the last batch of celery, and it also seems like it's taken off again, like the lettuce has started to. I think it would really like to be in the ground. Here, the second batch of our tomatoes, other ones all in the ground basically, or in solo pots. These need to go in solo pots. Hopefully soon. I did buy some on Amazon, but they're very delayed in shipping, so kind of not great, but whatever. Dealing with it, I suppose. Here's our these are all basically cherry types. These are the large red cherries. All 3 come up now. This one was the last one, but it's looking just fine. All the Chadwicks came up a long time ago. You can see they're looking really long. They basically just hang out outside. They would be outside more often, and they would probably look much better. These two wouldn't be sideways. I think those are, there we go, 2 grapes, unfortunately. 2 of our Napa grapes. Our 2 plums. One of the 2 plums is also sideways. Wouldn't look as bad as that. Wouldn't look as long if we haven't been getting as much hard rain as we've been getting. We've been, again, of course, getting more sun, but hey, again, working with what we got, I suppose. Got our super sweets, cherries, and regular large cherries and Chadwicks all in this one. All the super sweet, luckily, because we didn't do as many of those. 3 of the Chadwicks and just 1 of the large red cherries. I think, yeah, there's a second one just started there. Yeah, it's been even like over a month for some of the seeds to just start randomly germinating. But yeah, these from the 12th or 23rd, I should say, of May, not looking bad. Hopefully gonna get those potted into solo pots soon, which will also give them a little fertilizer boost, and then again, yeah, hopefully get them in the ground in a couple weeks. The other 23rd plants are our peppers. Got our Nature's Edge jalapenos, the Generation 2. Again, you can tell left out in the rain, hard rain at one point. All of these were basically flooded, and probably means that most of the seeds that weren't germinated won't germinate. Maybe they will, who knows, what do I know? But that's why they look so terrible, and all the perlite, I assume, ended up on the top like that because they were completely submerged. But we have 3 still looking decent looking jalapenos. I was hoping to have 1 more because this will fill up the line in the home garden of the cayennes and the jalapenos we have. But I wanted just 1 more of these Gen 2 jalapenos to put in one of the new small pots I have, just because I have 1 left over. I put a Gen 2, the last Gen 2 cayenne, and one of the last 2 left over. So I figured I'd put a Gen 2 jalapeno in the last one, but I only got 3. I mean, maybe we'll just plant 2 of them and put 1 in the home garden, put the other one in the pot. Here are our Jimmy Nardellos and California Wonders. Last of the California Wonders, but we did do more Jimmy Nardellos later on, we'll see. Again, caught out in the rain, but looking okay still. Look at all that perlite. I think that's what that is, the white. Anyway, yeah, 4 and 4, not terrible. Again, these will need to go in. These, again, would have been in solo pots like the 23rd. Tomatoes, still not, though. Although I'm still working on getting, as you saw, or as you will see, the 12th peppers, getting those into pots. All right, and peppers from June 1st. Those are the pepperoncinis there first, and then the Anaheims and the poblanos in the back. Unfortunately, there's a new poblano just sprouted. I think one of these Anaheim was actually maybe also fresh, or maybe not. But one of the 3 poblanos has been chewed up. I'm not sure if I saw that this morning, meaning I'm not sure if it happened overnight or if it happened during the day. You can see these crazy roots they already have, and these already probably ready to come out too. We're really behind on the transplanting to solo pots, since they should all be in the ground probably by now, at least by like mid-July. I think I have an app that says to the end of July that it's possible. We'll see. I want everything in the ground by the end of July. Oh my. Cherry. Also chewed. Hungarian black. Chewed up a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Alright, it looks like we have a new pest entering the game, because this is different than the other things we've seen. Look at the outside of this leaf is all mangled. The yellow hot wax are okay. Yeah, the cherry bombs, maybe the favorite, whatever I'm getting at them. But they don't look bad otherwise. They've now been fertilized. There are Aleppos, Serranos, Hinklehots, and Pekins all coming up. That's just dirt. Thought maybe we found something that may have been a culprit of the leaf eating. Yeah, again, they look really nice. They actually haven't been eaten at all. I don't think nothing got to this one. Aleppos definitely, and Serranos came up first. The Hinklehots and Pekin took a little longer, and that might just be normal. They're in order of heat, and as I've seen so far, it seems like the hotter they are, the longer they take to come up. Especially once you get to habanero and plus, those take a bit longer than the others. Those are actually a whole different species of pepper. Pepper is actually a genus, capsicum, and then there's like 4, at least I think, maybe 5 species of pepper, which would be the annuums, which are basically all these I think are annuums here. Your mild types, jalapenos and cayennes, and then your chinennes would be your habaneros and all your other super hots. And you got bacatum, which are a lot of your ahi peppers, or all the ahis, probably bacatum species, which means berry-like, I think. And then you have your fructens, I think is one. And then there's also pupens. So I guess there are 5. We don't have any of those, though. We have one bacatum, which we'll be seeing in a second. Mostly we just have the annuum and the chinennes, the 2 most popular. Speaking of habaneros, here are one of each different type other than, I think, Nature's Edge. So we got our Rebel Gardens, our Serenaseed in the middle, Sustainable Sprout on the right. Looking pretty good. Again, as far as habaneros are concerned, yeah, these are again from the 1st of June. So same as the last ones, liking how they look. Some of the better habaneros we have, some of the first ones we didn't look as great. Hopefully we can just get them in the ground at a reasonable time. Of course, as you saw, still need to open up the next half of all the main patches for peppers, tomatoes, and, well, really the cucumbers patch doesn't need to be extended any further, because I don't know how many more of those I really need to do. Maybe just a bit. And here are our serranos. Again, same time from the 1st. Nature's Edge, 3 of them in the back. Not looking bad. But these Sustainable Sprout, the only 2 types we have. Oh, look, there's a thing in there. Look. But yeah, those Sustainable Sprout, I would say, looking better right now, at least, than the Nature's Edge. And yeah, you saw this little wilted leaf for some reason. Happens randomly once in a while on some of them. Also, we have our basils from the 7th here, before I show the 7th peppers. Italian large leaf in the middle, the Thai, which has a red stem apparently in the back there, Genovese in the front. Really need to pull the smaller ones out and do something with them. Definitely don't need to just throw them out. Could try rooting them again in something, maybe one of these containers, because there's so many of them. But yeah, not looking bad. Smelling fantastic. I don't know what I'll do with all of it, but maybe it'll go back in the gardens. It's a good deterrent and a good repeller and attractor as well for good things, I think. And our peppers from the 7th then. All our different habaneros. Got our orange, our yellow, and our white here. Looking good. No damage from anything at the moment. And only a few weeks. Well, actually, I guess they're a month old. That's why I would like to maybe fertilize them. But you can see they're not huge yet. They don't maybe know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably should fertilize them, because they at least most of the ones that are up now have their first set of true leaves. I think usually you want to wait for the second set to start, but whatever. It's probably okay. I think it's okay. I usually don't fertilize with anything too heavy. But anyway, we have our red habaneros in the front. This one, I believe, maybe it was just this one that failed. For some reason, I thought there was 2 of the reds that something happened. Oh yeah, I think it was, I'll have to go back and look, but I believe it was maybe cut by a cutworm right as this one sprouted. But maybe this habanero, maybe that red one will come back. As we saw, I forgot to mention, here on our peppers from the first. This Hungarian black was basically just a stump, a little stem. Look at that. So it really fought back. I found, we saw outside that that lady bell that I would never have imagined would have anything actually has leaves on it. Peppers, super resilient plants, I guess, until they get frozen. But yeah, so maybe, just maybe, that red habanero will do the same. But anyway, yeah, the chocolate habaneros, still not seeing a whole lot of them, but we do have one here finally coming up in this. Or the ghost peppers are doing great, almost at different times in their life. Oldest, next, probably, and then that one and this newest one here. Good to see at least have one of each. We do have more chocolate habaneros. I'll show you now. Yeah, here our yogurt container starts. All the habaneros from the 11th now, just a little older than the last ones. The yellow ones there on the end. Got the whites next. And 2 yellows in there. One nice one coming up there. Same happening with the whites, two in the bottom, one nice one in the top. Opposite for the reds, two in the top that actually look the best of the doubled up ones. I think they actually came up first though, and then red one there. So it's nice to see 3 reds there. I'm gonna have to try to think of what to do. Maybe try to do something early with these as they're the ones that are doubled up. Try to save the other ones. Can't see, but bring them closer here for these chocolate habaneros. There are little seeds just starting. You know what? Let's try to just help them out a tad here. Ooh. Well, that's the seed right there, I think. Yeah, let's not go too crazy. But both of them are up. There's that one there. There's this one right here. That would make 3 if both of those work out. And I thought there was one in this one too. There is right there. So we have 4. That's enough. If I can get 4 of everything I planted, I guess that would be enough. I'd like more than that. I mean the ones that I've only planted, like, you know, a single 1 or 2 batches of. The jalapenos, cayenne, and the habaneros, regular ones, already have a ton of those. And finally we reach the peppers from the 15th, the final ones that actually themselves also look like they're all basically ready to go in the ground, other than needing to be hardened off still. As you can see, I failed to get these back indoors quick enough, but they're all right. No harm. I mean, a little bit of harm, but they'll be fine. But look at how long. That's why I need to start, because these shishitos just popped off. The Cubanelles and the Santa Fe Grandes, actually this whole one came up really quickly. So hopefully we can do something with those soon, because they already almost look like they want to come out. Definitely need to start getting them in the sun more, and maybe even fertilizing them. I don't know, maybe fertilizing them soon. It is getting close to a month for them as well, so should be okay. Here, the second hottest tray are Big Jim's, not Jimmy Nardello's here, but the Big Jim New peppers, New Mexico State peppers. Those, again, these and the Charlestons. Actually, the Charlestons and the Thais, Charleston Hots and the Thais, both came up a little slower, but you can see they're already getting leggy themselves. I'm really hoping that next season I can do a little better with the legginess of these plants. And hopefully, again, everything is going to be prepared. I'll have all the things. I won't be buying things like solo pots and whatever right at the last minute. But yeah, these are looking just great. They're probably at a decent point. Getting a little bent over because, yeah, I think they would prefer a little more sun than they've been getting in here. Hence why I started hardening them off. And finally, the last one there. And this one is probably going to have the biggest struggles, although maybe it'll be all right, because these are my only ahis, my only capsicum bacatum species peppers, and I'm hoping that they will do okay up here in my mountainous climate, more than maybe some of the other peppers, because that is, I think, one of the features of bacatums being from originating in a mountainous region. One of our 7-pot Jonah, our second hottest pepper, and one of our Naga Vipers, the hottest. The ahi lemons are not, or which are also called lemon drop peppers, are not the third hottest. They were just, I don't know, they just seem to fit the best out of all these peppers with these. They're like the fourth or fifth because the, I think the, both the Thai and the Charleston hots are hotter than the lemons, but none of them are as hot as habaneros. These get up to a habanero spice, and the lemon drops get up to these spices maybe of the Charleston hot and the Thai, but not quite to the upper heat limits. But also, look, I'm not sure if this is going to be something that we see continuing through all the leaves of the Baccatum species. It does look like it's more as broader. Could also just be because of these peppers themselves, where they're at in their life, how they grew. That could be the reason, but who knows? Looks like it might not be the case. Again, super bent. Need to start dealing with that. Haven't had super sunny days or no sun at all. Always dealing with our extremes here. In fact, it stopped raining and there's not a whole lot of sun. I should put them out now. Here are the final peppers. These are from the same time, the 15th. Two more Jonahs, 2 more Vipers, 7-pot Jonah, Naga Vipers, 2 hottest types. Just one of the Naga Vipers coming up now. Still have faith in the other ones though. Not too worried yet. But yeah, I would definitely like to have more of these hot ones. This is only the second Viper and only one 7-pot Jonah so far. So yeah, hopefully a couple more come up. Looking good.